Okay, let's talk through all these golf events that you have coming up.
Gabby, I'm glad you asked. Got my calendar right here. July 17th, I have Red Run, and then July 31st, I have the American Golf Outing for the Cancer Society.
I also have the American Cancer Society golf outing on the 31st, and also I got yours on the 18th, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
Oh, boys, these are a lot of events and golf outings.
Well, you want me to miss my own golf tournament?
Gabby, they're all great calls.
I mean, this is...
Hold on. I got this. Guys, I got this. Don't worry about it. Hold on a second.
He always says.
Hey guys, thanks for coming so fast. How are ya?
Remember the guys from Randy Wise, right? Sir. The Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
Watch for the eye.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports. And some, well, not so much. Brought to you in part by Premier Security Solutions, Fairway Packing Company, and Swiss Insurance. Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Hey, let's go. Thursday show, June 29th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. JB in the house, Parker in the house, Braylon Edwards in the house. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
Same old day, just another dollar, man. How you feeling, my friend?
What in the hell is going on with this air quality situation?
Canada, man. Yeah, the forest fires, obviously, we've all heard it. I mean, I don't know exactly what that means, but I know it's spreading this way, and it is making the air quality terrible. You know, I was looking forward to going out to the Rocket Mortgage this week, see the outing, see the classic. But you know, I don't know if I'm gonna watch a game in this air quality.
Can I ask a stupid question?
Very stuffy, by the way, too.
Can I ask a stupid question, Tom Mazawey?
You usually do.
Good afternoon to you, by the way.
Good afternoon, bro.
Has anybody ever seen actual video of the wildfire in Canada?
I haven't, but I don't watch the news.
I saw one when it first happened. So this has been going on now for the better part of what, 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
It feels like for the better part of a month and a half.
Maybe a month and a half. I saw it initially, but I haven't seen anything in the last 2 weeks.
I feel like, you know, the wildfires out west or wildfires anywhere,
you see them.
Camera footage of, this is what the firefighters are dealing with out here in the elements. Do they not have cameras in Canada? I've never seen video of what is actually happening in Canada other than radar images of clouds.
Let's see what we got here.
Or anything like that.
I'm with you, man. I haven't seen it, but I haven't seeked it out either.
Here's one. This is
Let me see.
It's East Ontario right there for you. The wildfires of East Ontario.
Okay. So that makes me feel a little bit
better. But that's a good question, though.
Why don't I see that on?
It's not like MSNBC or CNN or
You work at Fox, you should know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I probably should, but I don't. I can't know everything, Tom
I know,
Mazawey.
but
I cannot.
You're pretty good, though.
Know everything.
You're pretty good besides that.
Yeah.
Is this not the slowest week ever, or is it just me?
I think it was, for me, I feel like it was a slow week because I thought Tuesday felt like a Friday to me, and that's always a problem. You know, I don't want to keep talking about this stupid concert I went to, but to go to a concert on a Tuesday night is not smart. It's just not. Tuesday is a day of rest. Tuesday should be like Sunday, a day
bowling
of rest.
night.
But it just depends on what your schedule is. Like Tuesday for you is much different than Tuesday for pretty much the average person in America now, especially in Michigan. Most people work from home. Most people aren't working as hard as you, Ryan or Maya. They're not working as early in the morning, and they're not doubling down and doing a second job before they get home. The average person
Keep
now.
talking, Braylon. Keep talking.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, you work a hard job, and then sometimes it'll hit you in the morning. You got to come in a little early at 4:30. You're leaving here. You're looking at 4. You're looking at 12-hour days. The average person is working from home. They're waking up when they want to. They clock in. They sit around. They don't do anything, you know, and then they clock off at the right time. So they can go to that concert. It is the summertime. They can enjoy it, and they can come right back to the regular life that they live, which is the one most people live. I'm not complaining because I have a schedule like that too. So
No doubt, yeah.
I'm speaking from experience.
The Tuesday just felt a little aggressive because then you got 3 work days where you're going to be kind of a little bit sluggish. You know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If Tom Mazawey.
Listen.
Yeah.
Last night, can I just change the subject?
Yeah. Sure.
Did it finish? Did that subject finish yet? I didn't want to cut it off.
No, it's fine. I was
Okay.
just going to say, I think, Wednesday might be a night where you could do something because then
Sure.
you only have 2 work days you got to worry about
All right.
as opposed to 3.
By the
It's
way,
summertime, man.
By the way,
Yeah.
great shirt for Braylon. Houston
Appreciate
Oilers.
that. Thank
you.
Love
Houston.
you, blue.
Pretty you know what it
Little
is.
Vineyard Vine Houston
It's a little
Oilers.
something right there, man. Right there. Little. You got the
So,
Oilers
so
on
last
the
night I went out to dinner with my buddies, got home, and I've been wanting to watch this movie, Somewhere in Queens. It's Ray Romano and a bunch of other.
Comedy?
It's like a story comedy. Yeah.
Okay.
It is. I heard such great things about it. Plus, it takes place in New York. Sebastian Maniscalco's in it. Great comic.
Sure.
Laurie Metcalf.
Oh, Metcalf.
Remember her? She was on Roseanne back in
Yeah,
the day.
Roseanne.
Anyway, they play a married couple. They got a son. He's very shy.
Shy.
He's out with this. He's over his head with this high school girl that he's dating. She really likes him, but she's a real cool chick.
Cool chick.
He's a very, he's a virgin. So she's been out there before him. Let's just say that. But they make such a cute couple, and it's a great story.
Great
the kid
story.
turns out to be a great basketball
Great
player.
basketball player.
But he's so shy, he can't talk to people. And his father, I don't know, his father's got some things going on from
Got
the
some
past.
things going on.
So I got about 30 minutes to go in this movie, and I'm just loving it. And what happens? The app fails.
App fails.
What? Yeah, I'm watching it on Vudu. You ever hear of Vudu?
I've heard of
Is
it,
it
but
two
I don't
O's?
know how to
It's
get
2
it.
O's, 2 O's?
No, VUDU. My buddy has a subscription, so
Subscription.
I was watching his
Will you
subscription.
stop that? It was funny the first frickin' minute, but
Okay, so I've tried for the next half hour. I try to reboot the TV, reboot the phone, reboot the app. I can't get to the last 30 minutes of the movie. I mean, I can watch it on my phone, but I wanted to project it onto the TV. So I'm going to start all over tonight. I'm just going to rent the damn thing for $7 and watch it.
No.
I am. I'm not going to. I can't f around with
just
this.
wasted $7.
No, tonight I will, and I'll watch it with my wife. So I'll start from the beginning. She hasn't seen it yet, so I'm going to try to watch it. I highly recommend the first hour and 20 minutes of this movie. It's phenomenal. Somewhere in Queens, Ray Romano. That's it. I just wanted to say about that. Then when the movie failed, it was good that it failed,
Right.
because it forced me to watch MLB Network. And don't you know, I tune in the 5th inning, and the Yankees and the A's are going.
Oh, did you get it in the 5th?
I got it in the 5th.
Oh, that's the best.
Yep, I watched Domingo Germán's perfect game, 99 pitches, and let me tell you, I've seen a few no-hitters in my life, a couple of perfect games. This guy was cooler than anybody I've seen. It was like he was just pitching batting practice. 99 pitches. He threw 5 pitches in the 9th inning to close out that game. And the 24th in Major League Baseball history, the 4th. 25th. Why? Because Armando Galarraga. Yeah, and the 4th in Yankee history.
Yeah.
What a gem. Then I asked my boys here, guys, did you watch the game? No, we saw the highlight. You walk in. Did you watch the game? Nah, just saw the highlight. Does no one watch baseball anymore?
No.
Well, you're missing out.
I'll tell you, and Braylon, this is how it works for me. If unless it's the NFL, you watch any NFL game, even the crappy Thursday night games, right? You're watching those. If it's between the Colts and the Titans, you're watching it, whatever the case may be. Sorry for the snort there. If my team is good, for instance, the Tigers were good for a little while. They were around 500.
Yeah.
I would keep an eye on what the Twins were doing. Now that it just doesn't appear that way, I don't pay attention
It's
to
the
what
Guardians, by the way, now.
Well, the Guardians now they're in first place
Yes.
now. Okay, by a half game or something. Yeah. Okay, so then it's the Guardians. When the Pistons were good, I watched the NBA. When the Red Wings were good, I watched hockey. When you have 3 teams that suck, it's almost as if I'm not interested in the sport.
Yeah, I think the other thing with baseball too, it's hard too. Like especially when your teams struggle, when your teams aren't playing well, it doesn't make it interesting to watch the sport as well. But just looking at the sport as a whole, baseball is one of those interesting sports where the best players on the field, the best players on the team don't always have good games. Like if you look at a basketball game, I can watch any basketball game. The superstars are always going to have superstar-like games. It may be boring to the people who don't like basketball. Giannis he's gonna have 34, 10, and 12. Jokic is gonna do, his 28, 10, and 12. Like, the stars are gonna play in the NFL. I'm gonna watch the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes is gonna have 355 yards. He's gonna have upwards of 3 to 5 touchdowns. You watch the stars, they ball out. You watch the stars in a baseball match. Aaron Judge might not get a hold of the ball. He might have 4 strikeouts. Your pitcher might get rocked. Your roster that's supposed to be invincible, like the Dodgers often are, they tend to lose a lot in the month of May and June. So baseball is that sport where you'll tune in to watch the stars, but the stars won't be stars at night. I think that's the problem.
I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know. I think I love it more than I've ever loved it. I just love, because there's so many great players out there to watch, and when you see a great play, and I can't help but to tweet it out, but I think I'm talking to myself. I really do. I bring up Shohei Ohtani, and they're like, "Oh, that's nice."
Unless it's football, nobody cares.
It's a great game.
I understand that, but I've come to this realization: this country only loves football. And then, in your own little city there, if your team does well, then you're into that team. But I guarantee you, people are not watching the Cardinals and the Phillies tonight. If that's even a series, nobody cares.
Cardinals-Astros.
Nobody cares about the Cardinals and the Astros.
It was 4-3 in the first inning of that particular game last night. Couple of home runs, couple of great plays. You're missing out.
I think another reason why people don't play, because I agree, man. The sport is a great sport. It's the best it's been ever.
Yeah.
You talk about the hitting, you talk
Great
about
players.
the pitching, you talk about 100%. I think the problem is football is still that sport that people feel like as a fan you have control over football, or you feel like the people are getting held accountable for things. They can't just do what they want to do. In basketball, if you're a fan of a team, your guy can leave the next year. He can demand a trade. He can bring in the GM he wants. Basketball players all the control. Fans don't like that. Fans don't like to see the guy that has all the control. I mean, you look at baseball. In football, you talk about that. In baseball, same thing. Guy can be here today. Guy can be gone tomorrow. Guy can be like Carlos Correa.
Yeah.
I don't want to play here. I don't want to play here. I want to leave. Actually, I want to come back here. So much control in baseball, and then also it's never been the same since that summer, man. And since Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, and then obviously the accounts of Barry Bonds, baseball has never really recovered from that. And I think that's why they hold on to football, because they feel like in football, the commissioner, the owners, the coaches, the GMs, the front office, they can govern over the players. They can keep the players in control. A player gets out of hand, like we'll talk about today, hey, you're out of here. Hey, you're gone. Hey, you don't fit the model. I think that's why football is still king.
Just one thing about the perfect game, too, and I don't know. I mean, Domingo Germán
Gave up 15 runs the previous 2 games.
That's kind of where I'm going with it. If you look at this list of perfect game pitchers, it's not like some
11 years ago.
who's who of Hall of Famers.
Facts.
I mean, it's
Facts.
Domingo Germán.
Yep.
You could even put for the argument sake, Armando Galarraga,
A journeyman pitcher.
Felix Hernandez.
Well, he was the king.
Fine,
Matt
but
Cain.
is he going to the Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
No, but that's kind of what Matt Cain.
Yeah.
Philip Humber.
Yep.
Is he even
White
still
Sox.
pitching right
No,
now?
no, it's over.
Roy Halladay, Hall of Famer. Dallas Braden.
Great story.
Mark Burley, fine starting
Another
pitcher.
White Sox.
Yeah, fine starting pitcher. Randy Johnson, David Cohn. But
Hall
then
of Famer,
David
Hall of Famer.
Wells.
Hall of Famer.
David Wells is a Hall of Famer.
Well, in my mind, he is.
Boomer.
David Wells
He
is a Hall of
pitched
Famer
drunk.
to me.
I mean,
He was
David
drunk
Wells is a Hall
that
of Famer
day.
to me.
I love David Wells, but I mean, I don't think he'll ever be mistaken for a Hall of Famer.
Well, he was an excellent pitcher and a
thought he
big
was an
game
excellent
pitcher.
pitcher.
Maybe.
But let me ask you a question. Why is it that no perfect, and I understand they are very rare, and we'll talk about that later, and maybe I'll be hinting at the top 10. But why is it that this one this year is 2023, last one was 2012, there were 3 in 2012, there were 2 in 2010.
Yeah.
But there was such a long drop,
Yeah.
such a long gap. You're talking about 11, 13, well, you're talking about 12 years.
Damn.
What happened in 2012? There were 3 perfect games in 2012.
Ball must have been heavy.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to tell you, something was going
Yeah.
on.
Hey, speaking of all of our, 3 of our teams aren't very good. Steve Yzerman made an admission yesterday that I think perked up a lot of Red Wings fans' ears. He used the R word What is the R word? You know what it is. We'll talk about the rebuilding of the Red Wings. We'll do that. But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Yes, Planet Fitness. We all know Planet Fitness as your judgment-free zone where you can work out for just $10 a month. But as of right now, Planet Fitness is thrilled to allow high schoolers ages 14 through 19 in the U.S. and Canada to work out for free all summer long with their Planet Fitness High School Summer Pass. Teens can officially gain access to the gym as of right now, all the way up until August 31st. But that's not all, because Planet Fitness is also giving away over $200,000 to high schools and students. Teens who sign up for the Planet Fitness High School Summer Pass have an opportunity to win scholarships for their school and also participate in a TikTok video contest to win academic scholarships as well. Visit the landing page for more information and, of course, legal disclosure at pfsummerpasscontest.com. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Tomorrow, join Woodward Sports as we'll be out at Dispo in Romeo. You know, our favorite dispensary. They're the best in the state. 21 up. It is rec only, but the summer vibes are coming alive. We'll be there all 3 shows, having a damn good time. Yo, tune in. Woodward Sports at Dispo tomorrow.
Hey, before I get into the Red Wings talk, I do want to make mention, and give a little bit of an ode. 35 years ago today, Coming to America came out on the big screen. One of the greatest films of all time in American history. Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, Coming to America. For you young kids out there, if you have not seen Coming to America, do yourselves a favor. It's a movie that stands up today. My
You gotta go see. You gotta watch the movies that made us on Netflix.
Yeah.
Coming to America is one of them, and you know the movies that made us what they're about is all type of. You see these blockbuster movies or these iconic cult classics, but there's so many things that almost take place for movies not to be made. And one of the big ones was there had never been a black leading man in Hollywood for an action movie like that or something like that. So they were very nervous that Eddie Murphy wasn't going to be able to lead the movie. That's why they added, a couple little things to it. They added John Candy. Not John Candy, excuse me. They added some players to it, but the film was a huge success. And
John Amos.
100%. Don Amos was amazing. McDowell's, the big mix.
McDowell.
But yeah, Eddie Murphy, man, I'd say Eddie Murphy was probably top 5 in the 80s, maybe Eddie.
Top 5?
I'm saying Eddie, Arnold, Sly,
Bill Murray,
Mr. T. Mr. T in 18 was number 1. And probably Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I'd probably do those
goodness.
5.
Eddie Murphy was something.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
There he was.
What a comedic genius.
Even now when you see him do interviews, it's one of those things where you always wonder if a guy still has it. He'll do stuff and it's just random stuff and just little quick things. He might imitate somebody and say something real quick. You're like, damn, he still got it.
My dad sold Wonder Bread and Hostess Cake in Jersey. So in upstate Jersey, where the Isley brothers lived, my good friend Frank Isley.
Okay.
Eddie Murphy lived up that way too, in Alpine, New Jersey. That was like the posh part of Jersey.
With the Isley brothers?
So yeah, I was friends with the Isley brothers.
Oh man, you can't just drop that in the story like they're not the Isley brothers.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, brother.
I know. So Dad's delivering. He stops at 7-Eleven to put his cakes in there and move everything around. In walks Eddie Murphy in this.
Get out of here.
Eddie walks in with this workout suit in, velvet all the way down. He walks up and Dad's there and he looks over and he goes, "Hey Sam, how you doing?" Because Dad had Sam written on stick. Yeah. So my dad was like, "Hey,
Sammy
Eddie,
Maz.
big fan." My dad's a man of few words.
That's so funny.
But he told us about that. That was That was something.
I love it.
Hi, Sam.
I just love how man's dropped in there. His boys with the Isley brothers. You don't know how big it is. Like, you got to speak on that. The Isley brothers.
Donations.
Kelly Isley, one of the Isley brothers,
Right.
was the dad. He passed away.
Okay.
Frank and Ron were his sons. I was good friends with Frank. Ron was the bigger brother.
Right.
And, we hung a long time.
Boy, man, you stay with the surprises,
Yeah,
man.
that's
dope.
that something?
That's dope.
That's something?
Guys, I want to see how you feel about this. Steve Yzerman said yesterday, talked to some members of the Detroit media, and said that the Detroit Red Wings are still in rebuilding phase. This is a tweet from Brad Galley. This is the quote. We're still in a rebuilding phase. We still are collecting assets through the draft. We're still there. We're not at a point where we feel we can go for it. We're progressing. I hope to be there sooner than later. So Steve Yzerman using that rebuilding term. A lot of people are wondering whether or not the Wings were going to pick yesterday. They did at 9 and 17, 2 first-round picks. They've got 3 today in the second round, 41, 42, 43.
It's already underway.
Already underway. They did pick up Nate Danielson at 9, a center, and a defenseman at 17, Axel Sandin Palinka. I have no idea if these guys are any good or not, but Steve Yzerman says they are, so they're fine.
Yeah,
they're
young
both
kids.
18 years old.
They're kids.
We have no idea how good they're going to be, when they're going to be on the big club, anything like that.
The Wings fans want him to go out and get somebody. You heard Braylon yesterday talk about Austin Matthews in Toronto. They want a guy like that. There's another couple of names that have been bantered about as well. The Ottawa Senators have a fire sale going as well. So they want the Wings to go out and get a guy. The way Steve Yzerman's talking is, we're not there to that step yet. When we get to that step, I will do something.
I think, people need to, I guess, take a step back. And yesterday we did talk about that. And I asked that question. I said, could Steve Yzerman survive another season, he and the Red Wings, and not making the playoffs before the city of Detroit say, hey, look, we understand that this is Stevie Y. We understand what he did in Tampa. But when is it going to be our turn? I think with the Red Wings fans, with the city of Detroit, what you have to look to, you got to look to the Detroit Lions. You got to look to how Brad Holmes has built that up, how they took their time. They're building through the draft. They're making not the financial blocks. Well, that works too. But they're making the blocks, the building blocks of how you build a platform, how you build a building upward. I think that's how he built this thing in Tampa Bay. They didn't start off just winning in Tampa Bay when he became the manager. Drafted, made some acquisitions, and slowly but surely they start to rise from 20 wins to 50 wins. Now they're 50 wins. Now he's winning, I want to say 2015, he won the GM of the year. And then eventually they win their first Stanley Cup in 2017 or 2018, and then they go back to back. It takes time, and he's shown through the Tampa Bay Lightning, which is why we were so excited to bring him back to the city for what he built in Tampa. It takes a second. I think he's building it the right way. So why are we trying to rush a process that is being built? It seems like the right way.
It does feel like it is the right way.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like that. I don't like it. I'm impatient. I believe Red Wings fans are impatient.
Yeah.
They don't want to go through another year of collecting assets, of getting marginally better, of getting a year more experience or anything like that. People want to go for it, but it is up to the adults in the room, and by adults I mean adult Steve Yzerman.
Yeah.
It is
Chris Draper.
And Chris Draper. Well, I think if he wants to be a general manager one day, he will be.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
He's already assistant GM.
Absolutely. But it's up to a guy like Steve Yzerman to have the confidence in his own scouting ability. It's up to Steve Yzerman to say, hey, look, this is the way to do it. And these quick fixes, these putting Band-Aids over, surgical wounds are not going to help. You might be better for a year, but then it will collapse after that. If you want a sustained, ground-up foundation for years and years of success, this is the way to do it. There is going to be pain along the way. And if the Red Wings miss the playoffs again this year, there will be frustration. But at the same time, I think you get one more year of this. I don't think you get 2 more years of this. And I'm not saying they're going to go out there and fire Steve Yzerman.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying. But at some point here, you do have to go for it. You do have to get experienced players who have been there and done that in the National Hockey League. You can't just get a group of kids it doesn't work like that in the NHL.
Look what they did for the Vegas Knights. They just let them.
This is true, and that's
they stocked them.
That's what they do in new franchise now, so we can't compare ourselves to the Vegas Knights. Let me ask you guys a question. When we think rebuild, we automatically think 20 wins. And obviously this is basketball and hockey because they're similar because they're both 82 games. As soon as you hear rebuild, it's like 20 wins, 30 wins, not in the playoffs, not in the play-in, not even thinking about it. But what if in their rebuild, and what Stevie Y is talking about, what if in his rebuild, he's talking about still being in the playoffs? Like his rebuild is building it up the right way, but still being in the playoffs or still fighting for a playoff spot. What if we're just assuming that the rebuild means they're just going to keep filtering pieces in until, you know what, finally, 2 years from now, they can get into a spot where they can contend for the playoffs. What if his rebuild means they'll be in the playoffs this year, but they're not going to try to make a splash because he knows they can't win it all this year?
I don't think of 20 wins when I think rebuild, but I do think non-playoff team.
Okay.
He built Tampa Bay, but they already had their superstar when he got there.
Stamkos, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Wings don't have that.
True.
So that's the missing part, the big missing part. I told you guys this a couple of weeks ago. I think they're one Stamkos away from getting in at number 8, number 7, and making a little noise. Maybe not winning the cup yet, but definitely making some noise. They need that kind of player.
Okay.
And
I'm not breaking any ground by telling you that.
Right. Yeah. There's no number 1 on this team.
Right.
There's a
I don't even know if there's a 2.
Yeah, well, let's just for the sake of the argument,
Larkin.
let's just say they got a bunch of number 2s, but
Yeah.
there is no 1. There is no Sergei Fedorov
No.
on this team. There is no
He's one of
Steve
the best
Yzerman
ever,
on this team.
They had 1,
Right.
1, 2, 2, 2,
Right.
and 3,
They had
3, 3
a
back
ton
then.
of ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A ton of
So
ones.
I just think that people get impatient.
We're spoiled.
Well, we are
With the Wings, we're spoiled.
Yeah.
Well, we are, but I don't think it's an unreasonable expectation to assume that after 7 years you can't get back into the eight seed.
I know, but 4 Stanley Cups in 20 some odd years.
I understand that, but it's a completely new era. It's a completely new team. There have been 7 drafts since the last time the Red Wings made the playoffs. I don't think it's an unreasonable expectation to say next step playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like they were headed towards that in the last 2 years. I mean, if you look at how they finished 2 years ago. No, it was how they started. They started off pretty good 2 years ago, and then obviously, the goaltending wasn't good at all. They gave up a ton of points. That's why Villahuso was so big in the offseason. But then last year, it seemed like they were hanging in there. It seemed like they finished a lot stronger than they did the year before. It seemed like they're going the right way. So, look, he's picking back to back with 41, 42, 43. He added those picks. So Stevie Y he looks like he has he
has a plan.
He has a plan. It's just in one of those tough situations where he's coming to a team that needed a complete overhaul to a certain extent.
No doubt.
But he has the plan, and look, man, Stevie Y. If this was anybody else, then maybe I'd be all in and making a new plan and a splash. Stevie Y has the hand. He's always been the guy that the Red Wings have looked for to have the answers, whether it was D-Mac who tells us all the time, and I know I'm going back to his playing days, but he's always been the guy that had the answers. So why not think he has the answers now? Still think he does.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
The way he's doing this is the right way.
You just want
But it's
something.
a very frustrating way to go about it
Gotcha.
right now when you're going through it. Nobody's saying he's doing it wrong.
True.
But not everybody
that's fair.
gets the time that Steve Yzerman is getting either. He's getting a lot of latitude because he's Stevie Yzerman.
Well, listen, Braylon hit it
This is true.
yesterday. How many of those great Red Wings were picked in the first round? Not a hell of a lot of them. The great Red Wing teams were built from the 20s up to the 100s.
This is true.
And these are all his picks now.
A lot of
This is
171s.
where he's banking his money. And he's got to hope that he hits on a few of these players.
Parker, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we talked about how when we think rebuilding, it's 20 wins. I mean, the Red Wings are 35 and 37 with 11 overtime wins last year.
Yeah.
That's two games below 500. We are at the brink of a really good team and that is up and coming. A lot of young guys. We got more excited. Maz, you said that he took a step back last year. Of course the kid's going to take a step back when he's not playing every single minute of the game. I mean, that's just how it happens.
I told him to take a step back. I'll claim that one, Maz.
Okay.
That
That's
was me that
okay.
said that.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, it's definitely frustrating to be a Red Wings fan right now. You want them to be good now, but it's like, what when is that rebuilding phase done? Is it next year when we actually do start going after guys like Alex DeBrincat or Austin Matthews and etc.?
Well,
they're closer than the Pistons.
Yeah.
Oh God, no. God, I mean, God,
That's a whole
yes.
nother
I mean,
conversation.
Probably
absolutely.
closer than the Tigers.
Hey, don't you talk about my Tigers? Man.
Yeah,
well, it's the
Tigers
truth.
might be.
They're only four games outside.
Tigers
Wings
might be
are ahead of them. Wings
Tigers
are ahead.
might be interesting next year. Who makes the playoffs before? Wings or Tigers?
Wings for sure.
Okay, very good. Guys, a new list of names, players being suspended for gambling in the NFL has come out. We'll talk about that next. But first, a
It's getting out of
message
hand.
from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one but two vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, your wife, your girlfriend, your best bud, your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, whoever you want to give it to. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Woodward Sports. Just go to youtube.com and subscribe to Woodward Sports Network. And, of course, woodwardsports.com for the latest news, articles, updates, show clips, and merchandise. Some really great stuff there. Guys, more NFL gambling talk.
Man.
The hammer dropped again today. Let me show you the list of players that have been suspended. This is from Adam Schefter. We'll get it up on our screen momentarily. Here we go. This is an updated list of player gambling suspensions the last 2 years. Now, these are 1 year suspensions, meaning they bet on the NFL. Rashad Berry is added to this list.
He bet the over on his own team of a running back yards on a game. He put $1,000 on it.
Shouldn't you want that to be the case?
Well, I'm just saying.
Shouldn't you want that to be the case? Hey, I'm betting that I perform the best of my ability.
Well,
I'm messing. I'm joking.
I know.
So
lighten up.
So Rashad Berry added to the list of guys who are suspended for 1 year. He was cut by the Colts, and if you look down, the offensive tackle from the Tennessee Titans, Nicholas Freer, I believe I'm saying that name correctly. He bet on the. He bet as well, not on an NFL game like Jameson Williams. He's in that category. Now, here, as far as the Colts situation goes, the Indianapolis Colts waived defensive end Rashad Berry and cornerback Isaiah Rodgers Sr. So Rodgers Sr. also in this. Here's the quote. We have made the following roster moves as a consequence of the determination that these players violated the league's gambling policy. This is from Colts general manager Chris Ballard. The integrity of the game is of the utmost importance. As an organization, we will continue to educate our players, coaches, and staff on the policies in place and the significant consequences that may occur with violations. So these two players specifically bet on their own team, and they are thus suspended for 1 year and today cut. Braylon, let's start with this suspension first. What do you make of guys betting on their own team? Not only the NFL, but betting on their own team. You can't do that.
I don't know what to make of it. And I'm sitting in the seats. The next step for me is I need to have conversations with guys that are currently playing that I know that I can get to, just to see what the concept is, what the thought process is, what have you heard? Because, Ryan, it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense that this is the thing that has been continued. First, let me ask this question. When was this period?
Last year.
Okay, so now it goes back to this, because if I try to make a comment based off this, thinking it's another individual that's coming out the day after the individual before, the day after or the week after, these have already happened. And we're just responding on it now because they're just letting them out now, correctly?
Correct.
If that's the case, then we're still at square one. Going back to the whole Jameson situation is the NFL has to make sure coming into this season, when they're so in bed with so many sports books, soon there'll be more at stake than that. They'll be in bed with some other things. They got to make sure the players know exactly what the rules are. However, if you guys don't want to change things, you got to make sure the players know exactly as it is, because to have players consistently come out, for people at home that are sitting down, like, it's easy for the guy in the car listening to the radio, or the guy or the woman listening to or watching our show and saying, like, why won't they just stop betting? Like, it's so easy to not bet. It just doesn't make sense. So what we got to do is know that these have already happened. These aren't new situations that are coming up, and we got to hope that the NFL does their job and providing the information and laying out the information for the players moving forward. Because every time you hear an instance, it's something different. It's another nuance. It's another hinge in how they got to play, or something over here. They got to be consistent moving forward.
This is like telling a kid, stay off TikTok. You can't make any TikToks anymore. Matter of fact, you can't make TikToks while you're in my house. It's almost impossible for a kid to not go on TikTok or Snapchat or even Instagram, especially influencers. They want to take pictures of themselves. All these teenagers taking pictures of themselves, where they are, showing off their vacation, doing this, doing that. A player has his phone. They're young men, these guys. Every one of these guys is a young kid. There ain't many veterans on this bunch. But nonetheless, it's so easy to just touch FanDuel or MyBookie or MGM and open it up and just look at the lines and say, oh, wow, tonight, Yankees, they got to beat the A's tonight. Oh, Herman's going tonight? Let me put $100 on the Yankees and Herman tonight. It's so easy to do. But if you're betting on the NFL, and especially, well, it don't matter if you're betting on your own team or not. You're betting on the NFL, that should not be allowed. All the other guys should be exonerated for putting bets in on other sports. Exonerated. This should be pulled down, ripped up, rebuilt, stay off the NFL. If you want to bet something else, have at it.
Yeah, moving forward, like Ryan, you talked about the head coach making a statement before the season saying, hey, we don't need to do this. If you do this, you're gone or whatever. Obviously, it's not going to happen that severe. But I would definitely advise the position coaches to say something. Because as I'm noticing these lists, it's always the same 3 positions on the list. It's defensive backs, it's wide receivers, and it's running backs. There's only 3 people on this list. There's 1 offensive lineman now. It's DBs, wide receivers tend to be the guys on this list. Tend to be typically the guys that get in trouble a lot. I hate it because I play wide receiver, and I hate it because we don't know what color these guys are. But I would advise the position rooms, you got to say something. Look, fellas, we don't need this SHIT. Like, we don't need this. We're trying to win championships. We're trying to win games. Like, are you really that distracted by gambling because it's always available, because it's always in front of you, because it's so easy to do? There are a lot of other things that are easy to do that aren't gambling, and you don't do them. So if I'm a position coach, I'm getting with these guys. I'm talking to them.
Just before I get into the details of this Rodgers, Isaiah Rodgers Sr. Situation, I have to say, I'm down with the gambling. I don't think those players should be like the Jameson Williams type suspension, like this Petit Freer. Yeah, they should not be suspended. Like I'm down with that.
Read what he said.
But I will. I just wanted one thing at a time, if I could. The guy that bets on his own team, I'm not down with.
No.
That there's got to be a line somewhere. Like, you've got to, even if nobody ever tells you. Yeah. If nobody even says a thing, if there's no signs, you inherently should know that you're not allowed to bet on your own
That's
team.
the Pete Rose rule.
Yeah, but see, you guys are speaking from one, both being bettors at some point in your careers and lives, and also both knowing who the hell Charlie Hustle is and Pete Rose is. The average kid don't know who the heck Pete Rose is. The average kid understands sports betting, and they understand a younger logic. The younger logic is, if I play for the Detroit Lions and I bet the Detroit Lions to beat the Green Bay Packers, how the hell can I get in trouble? That would be the mindset of most kids because they don't understand those rules. They don't know. This is new territory. Hell, this is new territory for guys that are older, like Austin Miles, who was the wide receivers coach that got caught and got fired. He's my age. He got caught and got fired. So when you say it's logic, it's not logic for a 19, 20, 22-year-old to be like, hey, you know what? If I bet the Saints to beat the Carolina Panthers and I play for the Saints, how am I going to get in trouble for betting on my team to win, not necessarily lose? And that goes back into the conversation. They got to make sure these guys understand that, because it's easy for us to sit up here, and you're absolutely right. I know that you don't bet on your own team. I know Charlie Hustle. I know the ramifications of what Charlie Hustle had to deal with. He's still not in the Hall of Fame because of that. But the guy that's 22 years old.
25 years old, but either way.
Okay, he's not the only kid. Jameson Williams wasn't 25.
Right, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. The kids that are in this wave, this new wave, they don't know all of that. So sometimes it's got to make sure the NFL is.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you on that. I just feel like my own intuition would tell me that it's not the smartest thing to do to bet on your own team.
Why are we only hearing it from the NFL, by the way? You're not thinking NHL? Well, I know Evander Kane bet, but you don't think baseball players bet, hockey players, NBA players, soccer players? Of course they bet. Yeah. Why are we only hear from the NFL? What is the big deal?
But that's everything, though. You only hear about the NFL and anything, whether it's all things that happen off the field. Let's just say that. Like Evander Kane, we heard a lot about him. And then Baumgartner or Travis Baumgartner, that was the situation. It's the only two things you hear about outside of everything else is NFL. It's because it's 61 players and they got more rules and regulations. And theirs is the next man up policy. They don't mind getting rid of players. They don't mind letting their players go and not representing their players. They don't care because there's so many guys waiting in line to be that next 61. In the NBA, you think if something came out with a Bradley Beal, the NBA is not going to hold on to it first and be like, hey, you know what? How can we curb this situation for Bradley Beal? Because if Bradley Beal gets in trouble, makes the league get in trouble. In NHL, nobody's watching y'all anyway. You think they could afford to let Austin Matthews get in trouble?
Probably help the ratings.
It's true, exactly. Let me see this guy that won this bar fight.
Give the league some life.
NFL, they do not care. In NBA, NHL, MLB, they have a better obligation to protect the player.
I want to read the circumstances between about this Isaiah Rodgers Sr., how that went down. Also, the offensive tackle from the Titans released a statement on his gambling situation.
He's pissed.
Well, hell yeah, he is, and he has every right to be. We'll do that next. But
also
first,
a top 10 Thursday
from Big Boy, and it's a top 10 Thursday.
All right, Big Boy, started off at Strawberry Fest. Start off early with your breakfast and the strawberry hotcakes or the mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Delicious. You got to start with your breakfast. Get a good breakfast going before you get in those snacks and lunchtime. The strawberry bacon chicken wrap comes up next. How about the refreshing salad that they have? It is the summer splash salad, and those desserts are to die for. The classic strawberry pie, the deep fried vanilla Oreo, or the strawberry hot fudge cake can all be yours. And of course, you can just go in there and order a Big Boy from your local Big Boy.
Detroit sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Sports.com talking about the latest gambling news in the NFL today. More players suspended. A couple for the whole year and then one for a 6-game suspension. The suspensions for the year were because players bet on the NFL, including betting on their own team. Let me read this to you, Braylon. This is from ESPN.com. Sources familiar with the activity on the online sportsbook account used by Rodgers. This is Isaiah Rodgers Sr., cornerback for the Indianapolis Colts, said that upward of 100 bets were placed, including at least one wager on a game involving the Colts. A source told ESPN that friends of Rodgers who were in Florida encouraged him to place many of the wagers, the majority of which were in the $25 to $50 range. My goodness, losing your career over $25. Legal sports betting was not available in Florida this past football season. The largest wager placed through the account was a $1,000 prop bet on the over-under of rushing yards by a Colts running back, which won. So it sounds like this player's friends got him to bet through an app where it was legal because it wasn't legal for them. That just sucks.
Really sucks. My buddy, when he travels and he's in a state like Texas that doesn't have gambling, he'll call me and say, hey, Maz, I got a free bet on MGM. Log into my account for me and put in a bet. That's exactly what this poor bastard
That's what
did.
happened. That sounds like what happened.
Yeah.
Like your friend in Florida, you can't bet in Florida,
right.
So you call me in Michigan and say, hey, Ryan, can you put $25 on the Giants for me, and
or parlay, whatever.
Yeah, put a parlay in because it's legal. We're in Michigan, but it's not in Florida.
Why is it that we focus so much on this? Like, what happened to the whole Miami Dolphins sports book thing? Like, how did that all of a sudden disappear? And I know I'm coming out left field with that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, remember when the owner of the Miami Dolphins had the sports book, and they were looking into some investigation about that. He was, it's a conflict of interest per se. And I'm like, all of a sudden that disappears, and every instant that come out with these players, they're getting kicked off the team, they're getting kicked out the league or suspended for a year. I just find it very funny that we don't understand the rules of sports booking. The players don't understand the rules, and apparently the owners don't either. But the players are the only ones getting punished.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're an owner of a sport,
Stephen Ross, if
you're an owner of a sports team, you are not supposed to have an interest in a sports book.
Well, look at the Illiches.
Well, the Illiches did have interest
in
the Motor City, but when the sports gambling came in, that's when they had to.
Well, I think Marion Illich is still a chairperson for Motor City Casino. I don't think she's I think they might have taken her off the Red Wing supposed
I think
ownership.
that's how they did that.
Well, they split it. Yeah,
I
there's
think
more
that's
than
how
one way
they did
to
it.
skin a cat.
Exactly. That's what they had to do
Yeah.
about that.
My point is exactly. It's
Exactly.
still technically illegal.
Right.
Exactly.
Technically.
Exactly. Technicalities all over this freaking
Yeah,
thing.
so here is the quote from the offensive tackle from the Tennessee Titans. Now, this guy seems like he's got a gripe, and this guy is pissed, and I don't blame him. Who's this? What's this player's name again?
Nicholas Petit Frere.
Nicholas Petit Frere. Firstly, I wanted to say that it's an honor to play in the NFL, and it's been a blessing to play this game. The NFL plans to announce another round of sanctions regarding its gambling policies, and I will be included in this group of players receiving a 6-game suspension. The betting I engaged in was not NFL related and was legal under Tennessee law. It is only being sanctioned because it occurred at the Titans facility. That is the quote from this person. So he was at the Titans facility betting. I don't know what he was betting on.
Well, look at J-Mo. He was at the team hotel in another state.
Right. Which is curious as well because...
bull.
Well, that is curious to me because it had to be a state where it was legal as well because the location services have to be on.
What if he was in a car across the street from that hotel?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know you don't know. I'm just pissed.
It feels like
I think he should be freed.
Yeah.
I do. I know it's a joke. Free J-Mo. I think he should be free.
Or at least have the suspension cut in half.
Bullshit. Just get rid of it. It's bull.
I was dead serious. And when I said this 5 months ago, I was dead serious saying the same thing. I said, I understand how the NFL operates. I understand as soon as they start, all these things start coming out. I mean, I know the gambling rules they're talking about. I know the locker room pictures they're talking about. Had nothing to do with sports booking. Had nothing to do with the gambling system that is in play now. It is a gambling system that has been in play since Maz's favorite guy was playing for the New York Giants and Lawrence Taylor. It's the same ugly sign right next to the locker room. They haven't changed anything, man. And these players are making mistakes because of it. Like, everybody now is looking at these players like, you guys knew the rules. You guys decided to bet. No, these players didn't know the rules, and this isn't coming out now. This isn't something that happened yesterday. This isn't something that happened 2 weeks ago on the heels of what happened for J-Mo and the other players. This is something that happened last season, and now these things are delayedly coming out. So everybody out there relax, because NFL, they've got work to do, not the players.
So, over the last 2 years, by my count, you've had Atlanta, Detroit, Indianapolis, Tennessee, Washington. I'm probably missing a team.
Right.
But there's at least 5 teams in the NFL that have been affected by this gambling policy. We all disagree with it. Can we get we all agree that we disagree with it?
Yes.
Though the rules are rules. We can't change the rules. I wish we could change the rules. We can't change the rules. All you can do is work with what you have. How do you go about preventing this in the future? And again, I brought this up yesterday, but if I'm a coach or a general manager, I just say, guys, put it down. You don't need to gamble. There is no gambling allowed on this football team. I don't know how else to go around it. Marijuana is legal. Marijuana is legal in a number of different states. I mean, but
it's not legal in the NFL.
But you can't just smoke weed.
Yeah, you can, and they smoke during the regular season.
You can?
You smoke during the regular season.
You'll talk about Travis Kelce's got something about that.
You get 2 tests during training camp.
Okay.
You get 1 for PEDs. You get 1 for street drugs. The 1 for the rest of the season that you get random drug tests, that's all PEDs. So that was guys' window. Guys smoke like chimneys during the season.
Okay, but
it's illegal.
It's still illegal.
It is. Yes.
It's still illegal. I'm not saying what they do and what they don't do.
Right.
It's still illegal in the NFL. I mean, so if you can say you can't smoke pot, wink, wink.
Right.
Why can't you just say you can't gamble?
I mean, I understand that, but my biggest thing is we're judging these players based on not getting the rules the right way.
I'm not judging the players. I'm saying I need you available to me. And the only way you're going to be available to me is if you don't smoke weed and you don't gamble. Those are the only 2 rules I have for you. You want to go out and do whatever you want, do it. But I've got 2 rules. Don't smoke weed and don't gamble because I need you available to me. I don't know the stupid gambling rules in the league. I don't know the stupid marijuana rules in the league. So I can't teach you because you got friggin' 15 pages of rules on what you can and cannot do. So let's just make it simple, players. No smoking weed no gambling, and we're good. We want you available.
Yeah, but I understand that. But if you don't address this every year in terms of the rule, in terms of gambling, in terms of breaking it down specifically, then you're going to have to deal with this with some young kid every year. Because some young kid's going to slip through the cracks. Because some kid is going to be like Maz. All he does is play football. All he does is play basketball. He's not watching. He's not reading. He's not understanding. And then when he gets into the NFL is not explaining it to him the correct way. Here comes Jamison Williams again. Here comes Isaiah Rodgers again. Here comes Nicholas Petit-Frere yet again. So unless the NFL changes it, it won't matter because, yes, you can give that speech as Dan Campbell this year. Guess what? Dan Campbell, you're going to have to give it next year. Dan Campbell, you're going to have to give it the year after that. Dan Campbell, you're going to have to give it the year after that. If the NFL changes the rules, if they come up with rules and they eloquent them the right way, now I don't have to make sure, because I'm worried about trying to play the freaking Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday Night Football, and we're trying to get into the championship mode. I got to take time to worry about dumb stuff like this. NFL can help Dan Campbell.
You can't have it both ways, NFL.
Yeah.
You cannot be in bed with the bookies and not expect your people to at least dabble in it. You can't. So get off your high horse. And there's no one bigger fan than me for the NFL. It doesn't exist. But you know what? You're absolutely dead wrong on this. Dead wrong.
Like Biggie said.
Like I get it. I understand. I'm not saying you guys are not wrong.
No, I'm not arguing with you.
I understand you're not arguing with me, but I guess
we agree with you.
I know we're all agreeing. It's just very frustrating because you've got a guy that's losing. He worked his whole life.
What a shame that these guys
they're
done.
His whole life to be in the NFL, and because of a $25 wager, his buddies got him to put a $25 wager in. This guy's going to lose his career. So in order to protect the player, to protect him, and to not make it ambiguous, hey, that $25 bet is not worth your career. You just have a freaking organizational rule that you can't do these things. And you tell them, you know what, I'm sorry, the NFL sucks. The NFL has no idea what they want to do. The NFL has the dumbest rules ever. You can frame it however you want, but we are trying to protect you and your career and all the work you put into it. So this is what our rule is now. I don't think that would be all that bad to be able to do that. I think that would be a smart thing. In fact, if I was an owner, which I'm not, but if I was an owner, that would be something that I would do. Fair enough?
Yeah,
all
true.
Right.
But I mean, true. At the same time, if you look at this list, look at the list of guys on this list that have gotten kicked off teams or have been suspended for gambling. These guys aren't guys that are deciding games for your team, with the exception of Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley, yeah.
I said
and
with the
then
exception
Jameson
of
Williams.
You said what?
Jameson Williams. You know, I mean.
Oh yeah, true. But I'm saying he's young, but with the exception of that, none of these guys are guys that are helping your team win games.
Yeah. You know, and then a couple of those guys too. C.J. Moore was a really,
special teams
dude, but good player.
Very good.
And a lot of these guys, you know what they all have in common?
They're injured.
Idle time.
They're injured.
These are guys with a lot of idle time.
I say it to say this: if I'm the owner, if I'm the head coach, if it's not, and I just stick with the Lions. If it's not Aiden Hutchinson on that list, if it's not Jared Goff, I don't have to say anything as a head coach or owner.
Yep. Very good, guys. All right, Top 10 Thursday coming up. Hour number 2 of the program. Wow, that was a quick hour, actually.
It really was.
Slow week, quick hour.
Yeah.
We'll take it. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here above my head. 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Stay out of here.
Get out.
Stay out. Stay out.
Get out.
Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
WoodwardSports.com, hour number 2 of the program. Ryan, Ermanni, Braylon, Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got JB, we got Parker. JB, checking in with you. How you doing today, young man?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Doing good, feeling good.
I know it's a slow day, but still.
Oh man, look, that was the quickest hour we've had in a long time. We got a top 10 coming up, but Maz, you wanted to tell me about a travel story.
I do. My buddy Brian, bachelor, works over at Brother Rice. Shout out Brother Rice. So he goes to every stadium. He's been to every stadium and every sport.
Really?
Yes, that's what he does. Gets some spare time, uses vacation time for that. Sometimes he has a friend with him. Sometimes he's meeting a friend there. Most of the time, he'll just go on his own. So he's also a collector of stuff, like bobbleheads and all kinds of stuff. So here he goes. He made a trip to Texas a couple of weeks ago. He's got it all planned. He's going to go see the Rangers game at Globe Life. I forgot who they were playing. Then he's going to drive about 250 miles to Houston to see the Astros game. And they were giving out a Jeremy Pena bobblehead. So it was a big day for bobblehead collectors. So here he goes. He gets to Texas, flies in. So he goes to the car rental place. And every station is open except where he had to go. Dollar car rental, whatever you want to call it. There was a line of like 30 people. It took him an hour and a half to get from the end of the line to the front. He couldn't cancel it because he went through one of those sites, like Priceline or whatever. So he got stuck there. He gets up to the teller.
Out of cars.
He's got everything ready, and they're like, "Okay, congrats! Oh, yeah, you got everything great. We've got you a Chevy Bolt." He's like, "What? We got you a Chevy Bolt."
Electric car.
I don't want an electric car. He's like, "Well, that's all we have." He's like, "But I didn't ask for an electric car. I don't want an electric car." So they're like, "Well, maybe you could wait if someone turns a gas model in." He's like, "How long will that be?" "Oh, we have no idea about that." And he has to get to the game. So after about 45 minutes of back and forth, he gets the Chevy Bolt. He gets in it, and from what I understand, when you drive on the highway, the electricity runs out quicker than if you're going in the city. Okay? So it says he's at 100 or whatever the hell. Yeah, it's at 100. But you look and it only gives you 260 miles on that tank. And it could be less because he's now going on the highway. So he has to figure out, how long is it going to take me to get to the stadium and then to get to Houston? So on his way to Arlington Stadium, or whatever the hell it's called, Globe Life, he had to find a place where you could plug in the car because it wouldn't have made it to Globe Life
How
at
long
that
did that
point.
take him?
He finds a Walmart. That's all. There's a Walmart that has a charging station. Now you pull up to the charging station. He said there was nothing else there. There was completely nothing else there except the Walmart. And then there's 2 ways to fill up your car. There's a 350 volt or a 120 volt. Obviously, the 350 volt gets a little quicker. So he plugs into the 350 volt, and it says 60 minutes to 80%. And it says, okay. So he plugs in, and he goes into Walmart, kills an hour, comes back out. He's at 80%. Okay, that gets him to Arlington now. He goes to see the Ranger game. Now he has to figure out how to get back to his hotel. So it's nighttime now. He has to figure out another place to go fill up the charge because the car is running low. He finds another place that's got 1 tank there, 1 fill up, and there's a car there already plugged into it, and the people are nowhere to be found. So he has got nothing. So he has to just beg and pray that he can get to the hotel, which he did. So the next day, when he's going to Houston, it's 300 miles almost. He had to figure out there was 3 different stops he had to make to get to Houston just to get this electric car there. Put it this way, his 6-hour trip took 14 hours because of all the electrical charge fill-ups. And then it got worse from there, and I don't want to keep going.
I mean, I just want to vomit listening
I
to
swear,
this story.
but he went on for almost. He went on for 45 minutes on the story. The story gets worse. By the way, he got to Houston, and they were out of bobbleheads. So his day was ruined.
Give me
and
a
then
gas guzzler any day of the
okay,
week.
so there you go. That's a gas versus an electric car. Thank you, but no thank you.
Give me a gas guzzler.
Give me
any
the gas
day.
guzzler.
What are you going to do? Take my stove next?
You got to plug in. You got to pray that there's a plug. Then there's no one there.
They're going to take my pizza ovens in New York?
Yeah, no coal for the pizza oven guy. I give up. Please.
Right. Oh,
Leave me alone.
Right. We'll leave you alone. Let's get to Braylon now for a top 10
good,
Thursday. Man. How you doing, baby?
Good, man. You know, Maz got me going. Maz sent this to the chat last night. Domingo German, perfect game, 25th in Major League history. If you count you-know-who, Ryan, you brought up earlier. But it got me going for a special top 10. What are the sports phenomenon that are hardest to get? I feel like this comes up every year, around this time. But it always makes sense. Maz, you agree with that? What are the top 10? And I got some that I'm naming. We didn't even do a graphic for it. And feel free in the chat if you think something I haven't said. And you think, I just thought of another one. So
write it down.
We'll just say them, and then let's figure out our top 5 as we say them. All right, here we go.
Let's go.
So obviously there's a perfect game in baseball, which I think is in the top 5.
No doubt.
So we'll put the perfect game in there. The perfect game. Here we go. A cycle. What are we thinking about a cycle?
Wow.
343 cycles have been hit in MLB history. So is a cycle
top 10?
Is it okay? So it's a top 10. I like
top
that.
10.
You got it in the top 10.
Don't forget, Ellie De La Cruz got one last week for the Reds.
This is true.
Rookie, first one since '89.
I feel like these used to happen a lot less, but nowadays, just like every other sport is better. And so now in
better
golf,
players,
and now in golf, you're starting to see a lot of hole runs. Rory McIlroy just his first one on tour last week. Is a hole in one in the top 5, man?
Yes,
hole in one.
Hell
top
yeah!
5. All right, hole
top
in
5
one.
hole in one.
Hell yeah!
Hole in one, top 5. I like a hole.
These are good.
One.
I'm thinking of them as we're talking.
Oh yeah, me too.
Right. NFL. Here we go. Some NFL ones. 2,000 yards rushing for a running back. Only been done 8 times.
Oh, God.
Hell yeah.
Is that top 10 or
yes.
is that's in the top?
That could be top 5. That could be top 5, top 6.
Okay. 5,000 yards passing as a quarterback. Now, it's only been done 9 times.
Yeah.
9 quarterbacks, but it's only been done 6 times with 16 games.
Top 10.
I feel like 6,000 yards would be.
Would you knock it up? I told you that's not going to happen.
Just top 10 for now.
Okay,
we
top
might
10
move
for
it up.
now.
We might move it up.
Here we go. Let's venture to hockey and soccer. You can get this in both sports.
Hat trick.
The good old hat trick.
No.
It's not that special
anymore.
anymore.
Not top 10.
Put it at like 12 right now.
12, okay.
Just honorable mention.
Which one's harder, soccer, hat trick,
soccer
or
for sure.
Hockey, hat trick?
Probably
you might not
soccer.
have 3 goals in a season.
Probably
soccer. 3 goals in a game.
This is very true. All right, here we go.
Oh, AC's got one.
Somebody's got one on there?
Bowling turkey.
Nah, it's 300.
Bowling
Okay,
300.
bowling 300.
Bowling 800. Series.
I was about to 900.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going.
That's top. That's
no, if
top
we're going
5.
phenomenon, you got to go 900.
That's top 5.
That's top 5. 900.
900. 3 perfect games in a
900
row.
series.
Can I share some of the things that the people are saying?
Please.
A 20 strikeout game.
Wow. Kerry Wood, the last one I thought of.
Sergio with that one.
Good one,
Nice.
Sergio.
I like that one. What about 60 home runs in a season?
60 home runs has got to be a
Yeah,
top 10.
it's got to be.
So 60 home runs, definitely.
Ooh, Dan Wood has a good one.
Please.
An immaculate inning. 9 pitches,
Wow.
9 strikes. 3
Wow.
outs.
That's awesome.
That's tough.
That's in there.
That's top 10.
That's in there.
I was waiting for you guys to notice something, but we'll have a couple more. NBA 70 point game. I feel like that's happened.
That's
Donovan Mitchell had one last year. Devin Booker had one a couple years
Yeah, but
ago.
Will Chamberlain
Kobe
has
had
100.
80.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, each of these are types of
Yeah.
things, 70 or more. But
70
okay.
is the top 15, I'd say.
Okay. 350 strikeouts in a season.
I didn't quantify that for me. I don't know.
How many did Nolan Ryan have? How many 350s did Nolan Ryan have? Do you know?
Yeah, Nolan Ryan's got 5.
5 350s?
Ooh,
Yeah.
here's one from Chili Demon.
Yeah, Randy Johnson and Nolan Ryan had the most.
Yeah.
A quadruple double in basketball. You've got
Wilt Chamberlain,
points, rebounds,
Oscar.
assists, blocks,
Yeah.
maybe.
Wilt Chamberlain has done that.
The Big O's
Hakeem
gotta do it.
Olajuwon, not blocks. Hakeem Olajuwon has done it. Kareem didn't do it.
Joe
Bill
Beerley
Russell
says
did it.
Lions winning a playoff game.
Oh, that's number 1.
That's a
number one.
dirtbag.
That's what he says,
dirtbag
too.
trick.
John Lord has no hitter on this list. I don't think no hitter is the
No
top
hitter's
10.
beautiful.
Yeah,
It is beautiful, but if you're going to put perfect on it. I actually have no hitter written
Yeah.
down, but I'm
Yeah.
like.
Top 15.
It's that. I mean, it's still a
Top
it's still
12
a freaking
maybe.
no hitter.
I know we got a lot. It's jamming up that top
Yeah,
10.
it is. 6 touchdowns passing in a game, or I guess
Wow.
I guess it's 7.
Wow.
It's 7.
Oof.
Peyton did it, and I want to say
Steve Young?
I think his brother did it. It was
Eli?
Eli did it. It was a game. It was the Giants versus the Saints. I think Eli had 7, and Phil had and Drew had 6.
Jesus.
One funky Lions fan
I gotta
says,
look that up.
Maz, the hardest thing to do in sports is roll a 900.
That's it, baby.
We said that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hell yeah.
That is so freaking hard.
Is it harder than a perfect game?
Is that 36 strikes in a row?
Yes.
Yeah.
36
that's
straight.
Pretty freaking hard.
What'd you say, Bray?
I said, is that
A
harder
perfect
than
game?
Is that harder than a perfect
Wow.
game?
Yeah, you know why? Because a perfect game, you got your team. Bowling, it's you. It's just you.
I put it to you like I place value on how many times a thing has been done. And when you look at the history of baseball, considering the history goes back to
24.
1880 something.
Yeah.
25?
Yeah, it's heavy.
I got one for you guys. 2 home runs and 10 strikeouts in a game.
Only Shohei.
No, I mean,
There's been a few others that have done it, but few and far between. Madison
I think
Bumgarner
Babe
did
did
it
it
one time.
Babe did it one. The Babe.
Yep. But that was back in the day.
No, Babe's grandma was black, right?
What was that?
Babe Ruth's grandmother was black.
I think I do that.
Yeah,
I did.
100%.
I think I knew that.
Absolutely.
So black guys don't matter. We in the home runs. No matter. we
You're
in there,
buddy.
We
You're
in there.
You made it.
You take Barry Bonds out, we still got Babe Ruth.
That's right.
You claiming Babe Ruth?
Top of the
His
list.
grandma's black.
You know what? New York claims the Statue of Liberty, but her
And
ass is
she's
on
French.
Jersey water.
She's French.
Yeah, but her ass is in the Jersey water.
Hey man, she
All
don't
right?
come home at all. That's
All right, New York. Just to let you know that, folks.
Right.
Jersey is where the Statue of Liberty is.
To answer your question, yes, I'm claiming Babe Ruth.
Is there a big rivalry between New York
Oh,
and
yeah.
New Jersey?
Oh
There
God,
is.
yeah. They share the Port Authority. They share all the bridges and the tunnels. But you know what? Jersey's like, go ahead, keep Lady Liberty. Who gives a damn? You can have it.
Jersey realizes as New York goes, so does Jersey.
Exactly.
As New York
They get a
looks great,
piece.
Jersey looks great.
They get a piece.
That's what I
They get a
realized by
piece.
being there for the Jets. I said, as we do good, I'm seeing Jersey and
Yeah.
New York be better friends. I'm like,
Where do the
everybody's
Jets
cool.
and Giants play? They
Exactly.
play in Jersey.
That's a good question. I
Yeah.
meant to ask that yesterday, Maz, and this is a side note, a footnote. And maybe I'll save it when we come back from the commercial.
Andre
save it back.
Brintley
These are
says,
good. I love
a
these.
hole in one
Hole-in-one's awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
Definitely.
That's top
Very
10,
good.
without a doubt.
Are we cultivating the list or are we moving on?
No, I think we keep calling. How about the Triple Crown in baseball?
Oh, how about the
Mickey.
Triple Crown in horse racing? There you go.
Oh.
We're going to keep the list going. But first,
Keep
a
it
message
going.
from Mr.
Randy Wise. Randy Wise, let's do it. What could be better than watching celebrities like Braylon and D-Mac play golf? You know, playing golf yourself and being like a celebrity. That's right. You can do that by being treated like a celebrity if you stop at any Randy Wise dealership for your chance to play golf like a celebrity. VIP transportation, free golf to one of Michigan's best tracks, and then a tasty steak. Compliments of fairway packing. Make the wise decision. Get to a Randy Wise today for your chance to play golf like a celebrity.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Jumper. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Detroit sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
You know what time it is. That's right. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon and Edwards, Tom Mazawey. Mazawey's always working that chat. Always working that chat. I like it.
Here's a good one for you, Maz. This is a pivot from the phenomenon of sports. Aaron Rodgers, New York Jets, right now, a lot of people are picking them to win the AFC East. A lot of people love what they can do. A lot of people believe in them, and they think they're still adding pieces. Can the Jets and Aaron Rodgers supplant the New York Giants and Daniel Jones as the team in New York? And we know what New York is. We know the Super Bowl cachet. We know, every time they make it to the playoffs, they do something good. Last year they won a game. They beat the Vikings. But can they be supplanted as the team by the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers?
Only for a short period of time. If they win the next couple of years like you guys did back in the early 2000s, they can get the city for a little bit. But it's a Giants town. It's a Yankees town. It's a Knicks town. It's a Rangers town. Those are the big 4 in New York. The other teams could win. I mean, the Islanders won 4 Stanley Cups in a row, went to 5 in a row, lost to the Oilers on the finale. And the Rangers are still more popular.
There's probably no cooler team to play for right now, other than the Lions, I'm sure, than the New York Jets.
Correct.
I mean, it's just cool to play for the Jets. I mean, you look up, and even now on ESPN, right now at this very minute, they're talking about what Aaron Rodgers has brought to New York. Everything you have read and known or thought you known about Aaron Rodgers and his time in Green Bay, specifically over the last few seasons, is null and void. He seems like a completely different guy. Helpful, laughing, joking, teaching these young Jets players everything that he has to offer in the game, and he looks like he's having fun. This could be, Braylon Edwards, the Aaron Rodgers in the year that everybody in New York hopes they were getting.
It's interesting you say that because Joe Klecko, who's a friend of mine, Joe Klecko, part of the Maz, you know what it was, the New York Sack Exchange.
Love him.
Got a chance to meet him a couple
Hall
times.
of Famer now.
100%. Shout out to Joe Klecko. Got a chance to meet him a couple times when I was hanging out as a Jet. And he said, he wasn't excited to have Aaron Rodgers. He did not want Aaron Rodgers, didn't like Aaron Rodgers, didn't think Aaron Rodgers was going to be what people thought he was. Now that they've had film, now that they've had footage, now that you see him working with Zach Wilson, now you see him working afterward with Garrett Wilson, now you see how he's there and excited. Joe Klecko has changed his tune. And Ryan, you don't get former players from the 70s and 80s to change their tune. They never change their tune. So the fact that he's changed his tune for Aaron, it bodes well. But the reason why I asked you that question, Maz, is Yeah, winning, we got close. We back-to-back AFC championships. We didn't cross that finish line. We didn't even get to the Super Bowl. And we held it down for New York. But then New York Giants do what they do, and they end up beating the Patriots and winning the Super Bowl.
Right.
So you forget about the
They
Jets.
upstage you.
But if Aaron Rodgers wins a Super Bowl, and you're talking about the Giants that have been dead and they just came to life a little bit last year, but they're still, no one's expecting much of them. Hell, I don't even have them going to the playoffs this year. If Aaron Rodgers, this is Aaron Rodgers, and the New York Jets, who, yes, they're the stepbrother, but New York Jets still hold cachet in the NFL, and king in the NFL is king. Aaron Rodgers, as big as he is already from what he's done and what he's built, they win the Super Bowl. I got to say, I've been there. I've seen the Empire State Building green and white when the Giants were not balling. I've seen it happen. I've seen them not talk about them for 3 years. I think the Jets can take the city of New York from the Giants only because the Jets already have some type of name. Just Broadway Joe, Super Bowl III, the infamous guaranteed. Now they're back about to do it again. The Giants don't step up because Daniel Jones, it's all about winning. The Giants built their reputation as the big brother, winning. The Yankees, the big brother, winning. Well, if the Jets are winning, the Giants aren't. I don't know.
All Aaron Rodgers needs to do is be 80% of what he was. If he's 80% of his talent, if he's got 80% left in the tank, even 75%, the Jets are going to be dangerous this year. If not, and he has reached the bottom, and we saw the bottom last year when Kirby Joseph picked them off twice in the last game at Lambeau, then there's going to be big trouble.
You see their schedule?
Isn't that the team that everybody wants to be good, though? Because you're going to see them a lot. Unlike, it's like the Denver Broncos. You knew you were going to see Denver a lot last year, but they sucked, so you weren't interested. You're going to see Aaron Rodgers and the Jets so many times on national television this year. So inherently, as a football fan, you want them to be good, don't you? Yeah. So because every time the Jets play, you know you're going to get a good game. Something's going to be on the line when they play. And I think it's look, for all the Buffaloes of the world and all the Cincinnatis of the world, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, I think that's great, and everybody's rooting for those guys. But there is no doubt in my mind that the NFL would like Patrick Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, 100%. And look, in order to get that, Ryan Ermanni, they can't waste time. Like the New York Jets, they don't have 18 weeks to figure it out. Because this is the AFC. AFC is a tough division. Yesterday we said the AFC was better in the NFL than the West was in the NBA. You just listen to Aaron Rodgers' opening schedule. If they don't come to play, this experiment can go terribly wrong. They open up, by the way, 8:15 p.m. on Sunday night against Josh Allen and the Bills. Then they got Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. They play the Patriots. Then they play Patrick Mahomes and the Jets. Then they play your team, the Broncos, Sean Payton. Then they play the Eagles. Then they play the Giants. They play Justin Herbert. Then they play Jimmy Garoppolo. Then they play Josh Allen again. Then they play Tua. Then they play the Falcons. Then they play the Texans. Then they play Tua again. Commanders, Deshaun Watson, and then Mac Jones again. That's a schedule.
That's a gauntlet.
So we definitely want Aaron Rodgers to be good, because if we see the Aaron Rodgers that we saw the first time the Lions beat up on Green Bay, that schedule is going to only make it worse. That's only going to make it worse. You're going to see a lot of ass whoopings.
As far as Hard Knocks goes and the Jets really not wanting to be a part of it, I've been reading things lately that really the NFL, they don't need HBO anymore.
Nope.
Let's face it, Hard Knocks is kind of played out. It's not very entertaining anymore. We liked it last year for a little bit, but you guys even got bored of it after a while. It's not like when the Ravens were on, or when the Ravens the first time were on, that was
Jets.
awesome.
I mean, the Jets.
I'm just saying, the Ravens were the first one. That was the one that really captured me, because they really.
I appreciate you, Ryan. I appreciate
it. It was really good. Of course, I love the Jets. I love Rex Ryan. Come on,
Rex Ryan,
who's a bigger Rex Ryan fan than
Cromartie
me?
Trying to name all the kids.
He's a fake.
Remember that one?
No one asked him to do that.
All I'm saying is,
we were like,
they don't need HBO. They can do their own thing on NFL Network.
That's what the Lions are doing,
and not make the Jets have to do it. Go make the Falcons or someone else do it.
But the Lions are doing that essentially with their Inside the Den.
Right. Each team is doing that as well. I think there's got to be a contract with HBO, when that sucker runs out, Hard Knocks is done.
It'll dissolve. At the end of the day, this isn't 1960 with Steve Sable and NFL Films.
Right.
Like, NFL Films was made to grow the league around the country. Like, you knew about...
And it worked.
Hell yeah, it worked. You knew about the Raiders. You knew about Hank Stram and the Kansas City Chiefs. You knew about Tom Landry. Like, and that thing kept going. NFL Films kept going. Then it turned into HBO. Then it turned into... what was the show? Their famous show during the season, Inside the NFL.
Inside the NFL.
I loved Inside the
That was
NFL
a
as a kid. It was
Showtime,
on,
though, I think.
it
It
was
was
on HBO.
HBO. Now it's
and now
Showtime.
it's on Showtime, but it's HBO. Then you come up. HBO and NFL Films have always helped grow the league. Well, man, it's like you just hit the nail on the head. The league has surpassed what they need from NFL Films, what they need from HBO. They're their own market now, and when that deal's up, it's over. Nobody needs HBO to learn who Justin Herbert is. I learned who he was when he was in Oregon. Like, you don't need it anymore.
I was running a restaurant back in the 80s, and HBO's Inside the NFL came to our restaurant and filmed the Jets weekly that week. It was the sack exchange. So I got to hang out with Nick Bonacani and Len Dawson and all the. I still have the HBO banner. You know, the ones that they hang up, the huge one? I got it autographed by those guys. It's folded away in my keepsake. I have no idea where I'd ever be able to put it. It's huge, but I do have it, and that was a great time, man. That was so much fun to watch them film that thing.
Guys, we'll go around the NFL next. Also, Notre Dame, they might want in. We'll talk about all those things next. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry aged beef. You can experience a Fairway difference for yourself today, right now. Go grab dinner. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks. If you can't make it to Grosse Pointe Woods, all you have to do is hop on the interwebs. That's www.fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Source cut A's.
Prime to perfection.
Bam.
There it is.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Maz, what are you showing me?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Not a thing.
Oh, man.
It was the counterpoint in my argument.
Oh, very
during
good.
the break.
That's so awesome.
Not a thing.
Yes.
Oh, man. Guys, we'll take a look around the NFL. It is just so great. I cannot wait for this NFL season.
Oh, I can't wait.
Can't wait. So, Maz, we'll throw it over to you.
I will. All right. Do you guys remember the whole Tyreek Hill assault a couple of weeks ago at a marina in Miami?
Like 20 different variations of this story, so I'm already tired by it.
Well, it doesn't go away. It turns out he goes out on this yacht, and I guess he was a little boisterous. So when they docked back in Miami, the captain, the owner of the boat, said, "I need you guys to get off the ship." And Tyreek Hill basically berated him and said, "Look, I could buy and sell you and this boat, blah, blah, blah." So the guy, "I'm going to sue your ass. I'm going to do this." So Tyreek Hill, we can put the tweet up now, offered him, "Hey, can we sell? I'll give you $200.
Give you $200.
And let it go away." So I don't think this guy's letting it go away. After thinking about it, he is still going to go to court with Tyreek Hill. He must have done some damage to that boat.
So this tweet, though, is interesting. Calvin Ridley lost an entire season for one bet on gambling. It was one parlay. Tyreek Hill has had 3 separate assault situations spanning from men, women, and children. The NFL
and ships.
Can't say they take assault, domestic violence seriously and not give him some sort of hefty suspension.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I'm laughing because these situations, you saw what happened with Devontae Adams in the camera at during the Raiders game, and you saw what happened.
That guy's still suing him.
But I understand exactly. That's what I'm saying. These things happen all the time. Guys provoke you. Guys, nothing even happens, and then guys come up with stories. And because it happens a lot, it's because you see it a lot. Everybody jumps on the bandwagon. It's like, oh, he probably did this and he did that. Then you create this narrative, this story in your head of what happened. So until I see proof, until I see videos, I don't believe any of this BS.
200.
Hey, he's freaking.
He's 200.
He's 5'6".
Give him 1,000. You know you got like 10,000 in your wallet.
He's 5'6".
Whip out $1,000 and say, hey, walk away.
What is he giving him money for?
Maybe he kicked a couple things on the boat.
Keyword is maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Keyword is maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I like the one who said, "What's your name, sir?" And he says, "I'm Ted from the Dolphins."
I'm Ted from the Dolphins.
That's what he said. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Hey,
what's your name, sir? I'm Ted from the Dolphins.
You better start going out with the Groucho mask, the Groucho Marx mask.
Oh my God. All right. Hey, you know the Patriots are cheap. They definitely do not pay wide
Especially
receivers.
offense.
But they did this time. They re-signed Devontae Adams. Not Devontae Adams. Devontae Parker.
It ain't him.
He gets $30+ million for 3 years. He gets some guaranteed money in there as well. And they still think that they might go after Hopkins, D-Hop.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Yes.
What the F is Belichick doing?
He don't know.
There's only one thing he could be doing. Like Devontae Parker, you just paid 3 years, $33 million to. You talking about separation? Like Tom Brady was the guy that said, we need weapons. We need, give me some guys. Give me some weapons. Guys that can like separate. Guys I can get the ball down the field to. And you get Devontae Parker for Mac Jones. This is how you're going to make Mac Jones' career better. Devontae Parker has been last in separation in the NFL the last 3 years in a row. And last time I checked, Juju Smith-Schuster wasn't running by anybody in the last 2 years. These are your two wideouts along with Gesicki. Basically what it's telling me, it's telling everybody else, yo, look, Mac Jones is not going to be throwing the ball down the field. Mac Jones is not going to be 40 touchdowns, 35 touchdowns, 27 touchdowns. We are going to run the ball, and we are going to run through the defense, play defense, and run the ball. Bill Belichick, this ain't 2001. You can't run it like that. You're being so stubborn and stuck in your ways. No, we're going to run the football. We're going to play great defense. That's how you get your ass whooped. Because everybody's scoring 35 points nowadays. Nobody's playing this running style offense with average wide receivers. With Mike Gesicki, who I loved at Penn State, but it never gave him the ball in Miami. And they're a damn good hybrid offense. Bill Belichick, man, it's his time's ticking.
They got Gesicki.
But Bray,
they got Gesicki.
Bray, it's for those exact reasons that I think when you see NFL coaches who are on the hot seat, you see Bill Belichick's name on that list this year. And rightfully so. They haven't won a playoff game since 2018.
Robert Kraft called him out at the owners' meeting.
That's not acceptable in New England. It's just not.
Yeah, I just, it's one of those things where sometimes, I mean, look at the Pete Carrolls of the world. Like, yeah, Pete Carroll's 70, but Pete Carroll is evolving. Pete Carroll understands the young game. He understands what's trending.
He don't look 70.
Right, and his energy. I was there with Pete Carroll, man. Pete comes in there singing and dancing. You were shooting hoops in a full-team meeting room. Before meetings, we're playing horse. He's trying to throw the football. Like, we're doing all types of fun, innovative things. He keeps his guys engaged. So the fact that he's the oldest coach in the NFL doesn't matter.
Right.
Bill Belichick acts like the oldest coach in the NFL. Yeah. He acts like the guy that was the defensive coordinator in age. He acts like the guy that stay off my lawn, you dumbass kids. Like, he's that guy. Why would you go there if you're D-Hop?
Yeah, you're right.
I ain't going there.
You're right. Hey, Travis Kelce spoke out. This kind of thing we kind of knew. Braylon even said it before. He says there's 50 to 80% of NFL players that play with cannabis in their system, except for a couple of times where they know when to stop.
Number.
Well, a lot of guys, they've learned this. Like, first time I had marijuana, I out of the league when I was smoking. I never smoked in the league, wasn't into it. But everybody else was. Like, guys have figured this out a long time ago in terms of for the anxiety, for the depression, it's little things. That's why guys like Calvin have been so stern and so firm on the benefits health-wise for marijuana and his company Primitive. Like, this isn't anything new. Percy Harvin talked about this. Percy Harvin talked about every game, him, Marshawn Lynch. I've seen it in person, and when I see him go out there and have 165 yards, they didn't go out there to do it to excess. They didn't go out there eyes all over the place and glazed over. Those guys hit a couple hits, take the edge off, and then those guys went out there and played ball. I thought it was crazy until I actually saw what it did. I mean, Percy Harvin had a Super Bowl. He had a kick return for a touchdown in the Super Bowl, smoking marijuana.
Yeah, again, I think many people's views on marijuana have changed, and especially, would you rather a guy smoking a little weed to relieve a little pain, or popping all these pills that you become, addicted to later in life that really don't do your body any good at all? I'm not saying that marijuana is like this crazy health thing that you can't get addicted to, but I do believe it is better than popping pills and pain pills and becoming addicted to those. So that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
By the way, Rob Sims will join us tomorrow on site.
Oh, nice. Get out of here.
At the Dispo.
Rob will be there?
Yep.
That's
no kidding.
Yep, they sell Calvin and Rob's Primitive brand. Mm-hmm. They want to come and hang with you guys.
Hey, are you...
I don't know.
You don't know.
I'll see. I'll see.
All right, let me take one more break here.
I got some more stuff
and then
for
we'll
you.
go back to the NFL. Also, I want to get into this Notre Dame stuff too eventually. And if we don't get into it today, we got all day tomorrow.
I got stuff on the referees, by the way.
Yeah, we got. You got what?
We got 2 minutes.
Pardon?
So we got 2 minutes.
Do we do?
Oh yeah, I mean it's 3:36.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
That's the break time. 36.
38.
38.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
All right. All right. What is it? Les Stanford. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Les Stanford.
I don't think it's a 38.
This is true.
It's fine. It's good. It's very good. Oh, it is. Change the break times on me. Either way, it's all good. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Les Stanford, I don't friggin' know. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale.
Off the rails.
A trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC. Same great service that customers have come to know, just south of 9 Mile on Woodward. Just go check them out there. Looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac. Les Stanford in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
The sports network in Detroit. But we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports. Detroit's winning sports network.
Back 2 segments ago, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz on a beautiful, well, I can't necessarily say beautiful, but the sun is up and I did wake up. So on a beautiful Thursday, 2 segments left. Maz, we were talking a little bit of football, but seems like there's something going on with Notre Dame as well, man. What's this Notre Dame story I hear about?
Oh, this Notre Dame story. They want a lot more money for their rights, and a lot more. They want almost triple what they're making now, and they might have to go to a big time conference.
They get about $25 million a year in fees
and revenue,
and they want to triple that to 65, 75, annually during the next cycle of media evaluations. That's from Front Office Sports. It's the business of sports.
It's only one way to do that.
Yeah, and now, I mean, it's why teams like USC and UCLA are coming to the Big Ten. It's why Texas and Oklahoma are joining the SEC. You talk about the Longhorn Network and all of that. I think what Texas understood and what Notre Dame is now understanding is just because you have your own rights to a television contract, it doesn't mean you can't make more. And teams, universities are always interested in making more.
Not only that, man, whenever you have a system backing you, whenever you have a power backing you, and the power in this case would be the Big Ten. When you have a power backing you, it's easier to do deals. It's easier to make the money that you want. I mean, look at USC. USC understands by coming over here, shoot, we get some primetime games now. We get some people watching us at primetime hours, whether it's against Michigan, whether it's against Ohio State, whether it's against UCLA, regardless, we are now a part of that primetime hour, and that's where you get paid. Notre Dame, I mean, they got to make a move. Are they going to go to the SEC? Are they going to come to the Big Ten?
It's either ACC. Is the ACC still a thing? Could they go to the ACC?
I think they can, and they probably could make it a big conference. And the rest of the Pac-12 can join that conference as well and make it another super conference. You know, their best bet is to get in the Big Ten with the rivals. Their USC game that's every year. The Michigan game, MSU game could be revisited.
Purdue.
Ohio State against Notre Dame. Purdue against Notre Dame. But you know what? They're so big-headed that they haven't done it all these years. They probably, just for spite, won't join the Big Ten.
And that's idiotic on them, because if you look at it from an ACC point of view, like what is the big draw? Is it North Carolina? Is it Clemson? Is it Syracuse?
They beat a king.
Florida State is going to move, right?
And Florida State.
Not if Notre Dame goes there.
Florida State, Miami, join the SEC.
It's not powerful enough, but the only thing is, I guess, if they did go to the ACC, they could come in immediately and be like the dominant force. In the ACC, they could be the predominant team, the predominant brand, and be the best team in there. So I think that could bode well for them. But other than that, in terms of money, in terms of where it's happening in two conferences. That's the Big Ten and the SEC.
It's pathetic that they haven't joined a conference and they get away with it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. It's. Do you think NBC is going to really shell out another $100 million for them when they have all these other choices that they can do?
Not if they're not winning championships. Like, does NBC, do they approve of the brand of Marcus Freeman? Do they approve of the brand of football that Notre Dame is playing? Do they approve of the direction that they're going? It doesn't seem like Notre Dame is actually heading in the direction that they were a couple years ago. Doesn't seem like guys are coming to Notre Dame. They haven't won a national championship last time I checked since 1989 with Lou Holtz. They're ways away right now. They got to make a move soon, because
they're still a brand, though.
No, they're one of the brands.
Yeah.
Like when you think Notre Dame, it's Notre Dame, it's Michigan, it's Michigan, it's Notre Dame. Like, that's the truth. But at the same time, somewhere along the line, you got to make it happen.
Notre Dame last year did finish the year strong.
Yeah.
They got into, they started the year 0-2, and then 3.
Freeman's a good coach. He's going to put them on the map.
Then went on to win 9 of 10.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And they didn't look necessarily too terrible in the game against Ohio State. They had a lot of injuries.
Exactly, and they lost on the road at USC.
That's great natural rivals to be here.
There's no doubt.
Such that, can you imagine Notre Dame against Rutgers? Come on,
no doubt.
I would argue that, if you put Michigan State and Notre Dame back on each other's schedule, I would argue that that's their biggest rival. Notre Dame and Michigan State, I would argue that that's their biggest rival. You put them back on the schedule, that gives Michigan State another major rivalry to contend with, another major game.
I would love to see them in the conference. I would
too.
I doubt it. I'm not going to hold my breath anymore.
I'd love to see them in the Big Ten. I think it'd be great for college football. I think it'd be great for Notre Dame. I think it'd be great for Michigan State.
You bring them, you bring Oregon over. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, who would be that second team to even it out? Because
Oregon.
Would it be Oregon?
Why
Does
not?
Oregon and Washington have to be together?
Maybe.
Does Stanford, Cal have to be together?
I wouldn't want Stanford or Cal.
No.
No. Stanford maybe for all the sports and academics. Now,
academics, they fit.
Your academics goes up. They win a lot of other sports, rowing, volleyball, sports like that, swimming. So that would help. That would boost the cachet, if you will,
and
of
that'd
the Big Ten.
That'd be another team. Notre Dame plays Stanford every year.
How about those three and Notre Dame?
Yeah. How about Notre Dame and Stanford?
Yeah, Notre Dame, Stanford, Cal, and Oregon. Bring all 4 over.
There you go.
What would that give us? 20?
20.
There you go.
They will go to the 20.
Yeah.
They will go
There
to
you
the
go.
220
And then
team
Florida
conferences.
State, Miami,
Shoot,
and
SEC
North
is already
Carolina.
at 18, I want to say.
And then they can get Florida State, Miami to make 20.
If you look at Notre Dame's schedule this
Just
year,
put everybody
though,
in the same conference. Let's go for it.
I always said it's going to be East, West, North, and South.
Notre
before you
Dame
know
plays
it.
2 games this year. They play 3 games this year, Notre Dame. They play Ohio State, they play USC, and they play Clemson.
That's better than Michigan's schedule.
Well, not really. I mean, if you're talking about
Penn State, Ohio State.
Yeah, I guess you're right. There's 2.
Penn State, Ohio State.
Yeah. Was Clemson any good this year?
Clemson was 11-3
They're always good.
last
They're
year.
always good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Clemson's still. They finally benched DJ Uiagalelei. They finally
He
benched
transferred.
him. Oh, that's why I meant. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he knew what time it was.
Where did he wind up going? Do you
Oregon
remember?
State, I think.
Oregon State.
Yeah, Oregon State, another orange team.
Yeah.
Oregon State. I don't know. I'm looking forward to college football this year.
Yeah, me too.
Hold on. I got to look, just for my own jollies here, I got to look at Michigan's schedule this year, okay?
Jollies.
I got to look at my schedule here. Hold on. Wolverines.
My schedule.
Okay. East Carolina, UNLV, Bowling Green, Rutgers. So that's 4-0. Nebraska is going to be a tough one.
Listen, Ryan Ermanni, I understand you're in love with Matt Rule and you think Nebraska's coming back. Nebraska will never come back. The dumbest thing that they ever did was they left the Big 12, which left all their recruits in Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, states like that. They will never come back. I don't care who you put there.
Really? Never?
No. I don't believe, because where they're at, they're in a tough spot. Nebraska is a huge state, right? They don't recruit anybody from their state. So when you look at tech schools like states like Texas, states like California, they're going to do the majority of the recruiting in-state regardless. So if you don't have a team that's in-state, then you got to go part of your conference. They're way away from the conference. Like, nobody from Michigan wants to go to Nebraska.
Well, what made them so good back in the day then?
Because they were recruiting from Texas, because they already had the cachet. They were built in. So they had heavy recruit. Tom Osborne lived in Texas. He lived in Oklahoma. So he got a lot of those recruits from there. Got some of the California recruits as well. And it was one of the best brands in the history of college football.
Nebraska, Oklahoma,
but then
on
you went away
Thanksgiving.
from it.
I feel like if you could recruit to Baylor, you can recruit to Nebraska.
But Baylor's in Texas. You know how many kids are not going to get in Texas, but are just as good as the kids that go to Texas? They're as fast, they're as strong. The grades may not be as good. You figure that part in. It's in Texas. It's easier to tell kids, all right, cool, man. You know, you can't get in Texas, but we're right here. We're still an hour away from where you live. We're still 2 hours from where you live. We're still here. It's hard to get a kid to go to Nebraska. What the hell am I selling a black kid and going to Nebraska?
No, you could sell them on playing Michigan and Ohio State and USC and being in the sport's biggest stage.
They've been bums for the better part of the last 20, 30 years, Ryan. How are you going to sell that? Like that, I understand they're in the Big Ten. You get a chance to play against USC. You get a chance to play against here. They've been horrible.
I hope they stay horrible. I'll say that, because we'll take all the
free wins,
all the free wins you can get.
All the free wins. I want their brand to come back. Like, Nebraska's one of the missing pieces.
Oh, they were a great brand.
Like, Nebraska's one of, Tennessee came back this year. Wasn't it great to see Tennessee come back this year? Nebraska's one of those pieces. Colorado used to have good football back in the day. Like, it'd be good to see them come back with Coach Deion. So, Colorado was another Big 12 staple.
No doubt.
Back to wrap it up next, but first a message from Outdoor Equipment Company. Your childhood may be over, but playtime is not, ladies and gentlemen. Outdoor Equipment Company is your source for outdoor power equipment, sales, service, parts, carrying top brands such as Bad Boy, LS Tractor, Steel, and more. Servicing the Great Lakes region with locations in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. It's that time of year, folks. You got to get your equipment now. Get it right now and get it from Outdoor Equipment Company. OutdoorEquipCo.com. OutdoorEquipCo.com is the website. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Boom, you know what time it is.
Gesundheit.
Boom.
What's the chat been talking about today, Ryan and mine?
Chat's on fire, man. Chat's on fire. Chat is on fire.
They're still lingering on some of the sports phenomena and 900 perfect games.
LF-IV says Nebraska has had nothing but trash head coaches for years.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. David Gittleman says there is nothing in Lincoln, Nebraska.
I'm telling you, man.
Bet you would be a great place to live, though. If you just want to chill.
If you're just looking to chill. If you're looking to be in witness protection program.
Yeah, what's that?
You just want to chill.
Yep.
Every time I think of that movie, I think of Boys Don't Cry. That was an effed up movie.
Oh my God,
man.
That movie was nuts.
Damn.
I didn't watch it till later in life though, so I was like older.
Hillary Swank was a good-looking lady too.
Well, she's a little boy in that movie.
I know she was.
She's playing a.
I know.
Mavs, give me a little NFL nugget here before we.
All right, I don't want to talk bad about our Lions anymore because we've had 60 years of bad. But do you know the Cleveland Browns and the Detroit Lions lead the NFL in losses the past 20 years? This is from CBS Sports. They had nothing else to do like us, so they came up with this. The Cleveland Browns, 222 losses. The Lions, 216. This one surprised me. The Raiders at 211, followed by the Jags, Washington, of course, the Jets, who are the Lions of the AFC, at 196. The Texans, and you ready for this?
I'm ready.
The Super Bowl champion LA Rams at 190 losses.
Look at the Patriots with 92 losses.
With all the losing they've done in the last 5 years. Just think about that.
Right.
With all that losing, it's still 92.
Oh my gosh.
That's
92 losses
That's
in
sickening.
20 seasons.
I guess that's why Bill Belichick is known as one of the GOATs.
But I mean, look at the Steelers and the
But what do you know?
Patriots.
What do you notice about everybody at the bottom? They all got Super Bowls.
Yeah, I understand that.
They all win.
But the Pittsburgh and New England, if you added Pittsburgh and New England, the Lions still have more losses than them.
Yep.
That'd be 214 losses.
Wow. That would put them third.
Yeah.
You're talking about 12 Super Bowls.
That's a lot of domination by the Lions. I got to tell you. Now, don't forget, Cleveland was a freaking expansion team.
The funniest thing about this, as soon as this was sent to me in the chat, I did some estimating of my own, and I realized that I was a part of 52 of those 222 Cleveland Browns losses.
Congrats, Bray.
52.
How about those Jet losses? You got 196 there.
How
many you got there?
3 seasons, so I wasn't there. What was that? We finished 9-7.
All right, that's
so
7.
7. So then we were 11-5.
Okay, 12.
12, and then I came back that year for 3.
Ooh,
so
15.
15 losses.
Not bad.
Not bad.
15 of 196.
15.
For the Jets, the Lions of the AFC, I've always counted. 2 of my favorite teams. Look at them on the top line there. The Jets and the Lions. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Nobody could say I'm a front runner. That's for sure.
You could say a lot of things about you, Tom Mazawey, a front runner.
But I ain't a front runner.
Guys, before we go today, I would like to have some ground rules for the show at Dispo tomorrow.
What ground rules you want?
I think I don't know how you top doing it again, though.
I know.
Like, how do you top?
Am I going to have to do it every time I go there?
I know.
I mean,
how many times are we going to Dispo, though?
I think we're going to come at least once or twice a month.
Okay.
I believe it's twice a month, yeah.
Is that the protocol now?
I think so.
That Maz has to do?
No, I don't think it's protocol.
I
don't think it's protocol.
I think once a month. If we got to go once or twice a month, then he has to do once a month.
I want Ryan to do it with me.
No, I can't do it. It does not make it. Just I need to be at home, so I can look out the curtains and be like, "Who's hiding out?"
Type of creep.
I mean, I'll be like hiding. I can be all paranoid.
Maybe I'll try some of Rob Sims' primitive brand.
Yeah, man. Don't
tomorrow.
get no Ryan. No elbow boots for you.
Yeah, no elbow boots for me.
I don't want to be doing the show with the boy who could fly. No, thank you. It's a great movie, by the way. That was a nice little drop right there.
Dynamite drop-in, Monty.
Old school, man. Y'all know nothing about that. It's the 80s. Fred Savage was a kid.
Hey, what are you guys doing tonight?
Nothing.
Dropping dinner off at a friend's house.
Cool.
Yeah. It's good.
Anybody else? JB, what do you got?
Nothing, man.
Nothing.
All right, that's good. How about you, Parker?
Nothing.
I call Parker Clark Kent, by the way. Does this kid not look like a young Clark
Does he
Kent?
even know who Clark Kent is?
I don't know.
Of course, Superman.
Well, I guess it's Superman.
Look at Clark Kent right there. That's Clark Kent as a young man.
He's got to get the spit curl.
But
that's the one thing. Clark had the same Superman spit curl.
Yeah, just fold that little hair down in the middle.
I'm back on House of Cards. Yeah, I told you. That's what I'm on. A little relaxing, kicking
I
my
just
feet
might
up.
Join you in that.
House of Cards. Francis
I'm going to finish my movie tonight, somewhere in Queens.
This guy right here, man. You're a weirdo. You're a true weirdo.
I love it. I love you guys.
Hey, what's the score of the Tiger game?
Tigers up 3-2 in the bottom of the sixth. Tigers looking to split the series in Texas. I expected them to win one game in the series. Turns out they won the first one, and they are in position to win the second game. So if you are watching live, it is 3-2 in the sixth inning. If you are not watching live, there's probably a result by then. Hopefully the Tigers win.
I mean,
get within 4.
That's the game plan. You play 4 games, try to win 3. You play 3, you try to win 2.
That's
try
right.
to see what you can do.
And the Tigers do have, 6 games now coming up after today. So if you can get this one, then you go to Colorado, and then you play Kansas City. You can do
All-Star breaks coming.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a little somewhere. Were the Guardians winning today? I'm not sure why I'm scoreboard watching, but I am scoreboard watching still a little bit, I guess.
I'm looking forward to the All-Star game in
Guardians
Seattle.
up 2-0. Guardians up
That's gonna be
2-0 in the 7th inning against the
probably
Royals.
win.
So they'll probably win. So they'll probably hold serve in the American League Central Division.
Well, here you go, Ryan. I'll do you a favor. JB, get us out of here, buddy.
You driving me tomorrow, Ryan, up to Romeo
Yeah,
or no?
you want me to?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's a
I can do that.
All right. Let's figure it out.
All right, then if I'm driving, you're definitely doing one.
We'll see.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I knew that was coming too. Tomorrow is definitely going to be fun. Hopefully you guys tune in, tap in, or even come and visit us at the Dispo out in Romeo tomorrow. Hopefully Maz will be doing just that as well too. But for myself, Parker, Mr. Number 1, Braylon Edwards, Ryan Ermanni, and Tom Mazawey.
Sure don't know how to dance.
We will see you all tomorrow.
Why does it gotta be white black thing, man? Why does it gotta be white black?